Well, I'm just checking my time and it's just 3:35 a.m. Ghana time. In Germany, it is 5:35 a.m. Kwame is getting ready to go to work. I am also going to prepare to work right after this. But you people are so special to us. And as a result of that, we've decided to bring you a special edition of United and Everything Football, the Dawn Recording Edition, right after United winning by 4-1 in the third preseason game, by the second game of the Premier League Summer Series happening in the United States of America. 6 points back so far, and it looks as if we are just on our way to win our first trophy of the season. Shamelessly, let me say it. Whether
Shameless
or not, we are going to win the first Premier League in over 12 years. Yes. I'm here with Kwame Yako. Thank you so much, Kwame, for joining us once again on the podcast.
You're always welcome, my brother. Always.
Great. But before we continue, it takes us a lot to do this recording. It takes us a lot, and a lot goes into it. I mean, in terms of production and making sure that we serve you. Interestingly, we've been calling for sponsorship, and this time around, it's no joke. We mean it. We mean it because it takes a lot for us to come out to be able to do this for you, and as a result of that, it's taking a bit of a struggle. But so the thing is, if you have a brand or anything and you think you can sponsor us, please do reach out to us at uefpodcast@gmail.com. Please try as much as possible to reach out to us. We can talk about it, we can discuss it. Someone also reached out, as you can see from the comment section, that we should put a number out so you people can support us, and we truly appreciate it because and it's not the first person. There's quite a number of people who have reached out. So as you can see from the number, so that is the Momo number. Yes, that is the Momo number. Please try as much as possible. If you have anything to support it, reach out and then help us to be able to continue to produce content for you. I mean, we'll continue to produce it anyway, but it's by way of any support to help the production, because our videographer is doing everything.
He's doing an incredible yeoman's job.
Our video editor doing an incredible job, graphic designers and all of that. So please, as much as possible, if you can help us, please feel free to do that. And we truly need it. Not that you can, if you want to, please do. So let's do that. Okay, let's make a quick turnaround. When I come back, I'll get to Kwame. We'll talk about United beating Bournemouth by 4-1 here on United and Everything Football.
We're getting closer. I'm here in the windy city of Chicago. Just got done with the United game, going back home, and it's been a fantastic experience. 4 goals from United. Let's go. In terms of the game, I think we played really well. I think we tried to recover the ball quickly, and that was the most important thing. I think that's what won us this game. Not much to say. It's really late, so we're gonna get on the road and we're gonna drive for an hour and a half. So gotta go. But come on, United, let's go.
All right, thank you very much. So we are going to talk about the game and the news that's been brewing over the last couple of days. It's come to the fore that the striker we have nailed down finally is Benjamin Sesko of RB Leipzig, a player we've been tracking for more than 2 seasons. I remember during Erik ten Hag's first season, his name came up. At that time, He wasn't at RB Leipzig. He was part of the RB group, but not with RB Leipzig. And later, they found a way to draft him to Leipzig just to increase his value and ensure that they could get more proper value for money. He's tagged to be available for sale for around 65 million pounds plus add-ons. So we would see how that particular one goes. But Kwame would get into that. But first, Kwame, the question I want to ask you, are you seeing what you want to see?
I keep seeing what I want to see.
You keep seeing what
which
you
is
want
good. Yeah, which is good.
Talk to me
Which is
about
good.
how did you watch the game? Let me confess. I woke up at 12:40, said, oh, getting ready. I slept again. By the time I woke up, 20 minutes had gone and we had scored 2 goals. Anyway, Kwame,
So,
what you watched?
what happened was last night. If you realize there was a gap in my posts on our Twitter because I decided to sleep.
Yeah.
So I slept for a couple of hours because I knew that I had to watch this game some way somehow.
Yeah.
Slept, woke up, and I haven't slept since. And I'm going to work in 45 minutes. 45 minutes, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how today is going to be, but it was well worth it because what I saw today was a continuation of the progress that we made from the last game. So let's just quickly start with the lineup. The lineup was Tom Heaton in goal this time. Your Tom Heaton in goal.
Yes, my Tom Heaton.
It was Lenny Yoro, Harry Maguire, and Luke Shaw at centre backs, and then the wing backs were Patrick Doku and Diogo Dalot came back into the lineup. A midfield is the midfield that nobody wants to see as a pairing. Emphasis as a pairing in Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. And in attack, Cunha was unavailable because he's been rested, being managed properly. I'm sure he's going to feature over the weekend with Mbumo in what should be a feast for us. But he started Ahmad at right wing back and right 10, and at left 10 was Mason Mount, and then up front was Rasmus Højlund. We started the game very well, and I would say that this match was our most efficient game. You know, we felt this game was going to be our toughest game, but it turned out to be our most efficient performance in preseason so far because from the off, almost every clear chance that we had, we scored. In fact, some of them were not even clear chances, half chances, but we put them at the back of the net. Yeah. I don't think we wasted any clear opportunity today because the very first chance of the game was created by Patrick Dogu, man of the match. He got into the box and he put a cross in with his weak right foot. That's the sort of dynamism you want to see. And Højlund met it with a glancing header. You don't often see him peel away from his defenders, but he did that, and I think it sets the tone for him to have a better game than he most often does. We talk about Amorim improving players. Do you know that 9 of the players who started today started the Europa League final?
Whoa.
9. So see, when we make the emphasis that in fact, the mandate of this manager is to improve the players that are at the football club, improve how we play. Let no one make it look as if almost everything that we have over there is trash. It's not. That's not the case. We looked trash last season, but it doesn't mean we have trash littered throughout the entire squad. I would say about 60 or 70% of the team is good enough to play in most teams in the Premier League. Of course, we would need to beef up certain areas. We all know the areas already, and the club is looking to actually do that. So what the manager has at his disposal, it's not the worst squad in the world. He should be able to extract the best out of them. Let them play like a team. Let them play like a unit. Let them play better. This performance, although it's preseason, is in stark contrast to what you saw in the Europa League final. But 9 of these players started that final. The only players that didn't start today are Mazwari and Onana. Heaton and Dalot started in their place. Yeah. That's the only difference. Yet this is a team that played almost the entire 70 minutes with a lot of intensity, a lot of aggression, winning the ball back. That was the continuation from what we saw in the last game. The only problem for me still lies in midfield. You see, when you win the ball back, the next thing you want to see is the possession bit of it, keeping the football. Bruno Fernandes did okay keeping the football today. He wasn't playing hoofball. He was recycling the ball well. But his partner in Casemiro is stuck in automatic hoofball. He doesn't want to keep the ball. He can't keep the ball. He just keeps giving the ball away. And he was diagnosed last season as to not be a fit for how we want to play. Some way, somehow, he still finds himself in the good books of the manager at this point in time, which I find disturbing, in my opinion, because if he considers this as a possible pairing in any Premier League game, it just spells trouble. I don't care whether it's at Old Trafford or it's away, it's against the mid-table team, the bottom side, top side. It should not be a pairing that starts any Premier League game. That was my major question. But besides that, I think everybody else puts in a good shift. Almost everybody. The only slight disappointment was that offensively, our tens weren't supporting Højlund enough in the first half. But in the second half, I think they came into the fore. Second half, first half, we still got a second goal. Quick thinking by Mason Mount to find Patrick Dogo. But what was even more impressive about that goal was how he was able to hold the defender off. Powerful lad. You see, last season when people were critical of him, I was like, see, this is what we do. A young player comes into a bad team. And in his first 2 or 3 games for Manchester United, he was good. Then he got infected by the rot. You get infected by the environment. And I said to myself that we have to give this boy time because I know why they've bought him. Profile-wise, there's a reason why we went for him and we didn't go back for Caracas, Alvaro from Benfica, which would have been a cheaper deal for us. It's the physicality, it's the power. That's the thing that we lacked last season. We kept complaining about it. So if you look throughout almost all the signings, it's a constant feature. He's a very, very powerful young lad. You know what I'm trying to say? But all he needed was time. I've seen Patrice Evra and Nemanja Vidic come into Manchester United in the middle of the season into better teams and struggle. And in 6 months, they look like 2 totally different players. So I was like, give this boy time. And it's already starting to show in preseason.
And he won the man of the match for this game. It's been announced.
Deservedly. He was playing more like one of the 10s, not even as a winger, like one of the 10s. He was almost always in offensive position. And that's the beauty of the 3-back system when it's working, with your wing backs being extremely offensive, pushing up high. The entire team backing it up in terms of the press. If it doesn't work that way as a unit, it's a system that can be easily flawed and played through. So I'm glad he's had a full preseason, Amorim, I mean, to be able to try and instill some of these things in these boys because they can do it. It's about coaching. See, let's not play down the importance of coaching in modern football now. Right? I don't see a stark difference between the composition of our squad now and probably the composition of Chelsea's squad. But the difference is Maresca got a tune out of those boys last season. And he still continues to get a tune out of them. What you expect Amorim to also do is to get these players to implement what he wants to do better and become better footballers. I'll continue to hammer on that because that is his core mandate. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. It was a good half. Good half. We closed it out 2-0, and I think we're comfortable. We had a couple of scares with Semenyo putting the ball on the back of the net offside and all that. But all in all, I think it was okay. The only issue is let's just keep the ball better. We don't seem to keep the ball better. Second half starts and it's a continuation of the first half where we have the ball, we create the chances. Ahmad scores from... It was a decent spell of possession leading up to the goal, but the ball in the box was a bit scrappy and all that. But see, he did well to score. That's what you also expect from your 10s. The onus doesn't just lie on your striker. Rasmus Højlund was doing his bits today. I think he had a better of the centre backs that he played against because he was able to roll them on occasions, was able to do some flicks and all that, win us some balls up high, free kicks and all that. He was industrious. Maybe it's because he's heard the news of somebody else coming in to take his spot because the word is he still wants to stay at Manchester United to prove himself.
You know, it is boyhood club, so he's trying very hard not to miss the opportunity.
I know, but you know, football, sometimes the story doesn't always have to go the way that you want it to go. I don't see him staying if we bring in an expensive striker. I just simply do not see it. He would have to go somewhere else to play football. Otherwise, he would barely play football. We're playing one game a week. There are no games. Last season, we played 60 matches on the dot. This season, we will not play up to even 50 games. Well, possibly maximum 50 if we go further in both cup competitions. But there will be a lack of opportunities. Especially if Sesko hits the ground running, if he comes through and hits the ground running. We'll talk about Sesko extensively in a bit. But up until the changes were made, I think it was a very satisfying performance to watch. It was we built on what we did before. And this time around, compared to the last game, the second unit, when they came on, they were more like a composition of younger players. They understood each other, the assignments. Because it wasn't a mixture of the old and the new. I think that's what the issue is. When you mix the old and the new, then it's more like people are passing up responsibility and all that. People are just looking at each other, not knowing what to do. But when you bring on the kids who train amongst each other, play with each other, you sort of know what we're doing because the intensity did not drop. In fact, there was an instant impact. Leon won the ball in midfield, and I think he got extremely excited and gave the most comical assist in world football history. The boy is just over here.
Why did he fall?
I don't know. I think after his first move, right, he felt he had done something. So I think he was caught between either shooting or crossing. And the next thing you knew, he just stumbled and fell on the ground. But the ball fell
out.
The ball fell to Ethan Williams, and then he got a debut goal for Manchester United. That boy is also a prospect. It's just that unfortunately, the recruitment we're doing in offense would not offer him any form of opportunity. Maybe we could make a good sale or a good loan from him. You know, he was a late addition even to this US tour, but he's making the most of it. Gets us the fourth goal and is comfortable until then. Ugarte then makes a silly mistake in midfield, sloppy error that leads to a turnover, and Bournemouth are able to pull one back. That's the aspect of his game that he has to cut out if he's going to start alongside Bruno Fernandes, because in all likelihood, in as much as we all don't like it, I tell you that there's one thing about what we, the fandom, we want and what this coach is going to do. He's going to play Bruno Fernandes in central midfield. Ideally, it should be alongside alongside Manuel Ugarte or somebody else we can purchase to come and play next to Bruno Fernandes to give us some sort of security with the ball and all that. Up front is going to be the three of Cunha, Mbumo, and Sesko or Højlund or Zexi or whichever striker that we have at the football club, because that's how the manager wants to play. Now the issue is at the back. What's our best back three? Personally, I think it's going to be Luke Shaw. It's going to be Luke Shaw. It's going to be Matthias de Ligt, and it's going to be Lenny Yoro. A lot of fans will probably say they would want to see Lenny Yoro, they want to see Maguire, and they want to see Heaven. I simply do not see it. I don't see it. I don't see it because he would go for, first of all, a couple of in-year signings to be the main thing. Harry Maguire, it's in his mind, it should be the backup and not a starter at this point in time. But the confidence to play Heaven, I just don't see him playing Heaven against Arsenal. I think he would go for the experience of Luke Shaw against Arsenal. The wing backs, I think Ahmad starts ahead of Diogo Dalot. But Dogu has no competition. If Dogu isn't playing and Leon isn't ready, probably Diogo Dalot shifts to go and play his familiar left wing back role. So it's not like we don't have options. You know what I'm trying to say? But then I guess that's the only other debatable issue now is who plays in goal. Heaton played the entire game in goal, and he was actually very good. He saved us.
I've told you about Heaton. Me, I've said my own.
Especially from those set pieces. See, I don't want the set piece issues to rear its head again, because Bournemouth's big chances before their goal came from corners, of which Heaton had to make one superb save to stop them from actually getting an earlier goal. I don't want the set piece thing to rear its head again. It has to be fixed. We don't want to be seeing last season's problems. It's a fresh new start. Apparently, Amorim doesn't even talk about last season with anybody. Luke Shaw said he doesn't. The coach hasn't mentioned anything about last season. Now they're not carrying any people who don't want to be part. Everybody's just looking forward. Like last season never ever happened. If last season never ever happened, let's not see some remnants of last season. But all in all,
I was also
satisfying results, satisfying performance.
Finish.
No, I'm done. Satisfying results, satisfying performance. I'm happy.
I was going to get, you see, football is not just about what happens on the pitch. It's about
Mm,
a lot of other things that do happen outside of the pitch and all of that. There's been a lot of talk, and what comes to mind is that interview by Luke Shaw, um,
mhm.
where he had a very he made some very profound statement about Amorim being very hard. They are not, he's not, he's moved past all the stranglers or whatever, or he's not taking on any stranglers, etc., etc. Well, I mean, what do you make of that? I mean, in terms of the team build, it looks as if he's taking it on a different level, and he himself has been talking about team culture, and we
Exactly,
even
that's the
heard
word.
of code of conduct being signed by players and all of that. What do you make of that aspect? But before that, if you see that picture, that is Mame in Chicago. She just sent this through while we are recording the podcast. I've asked her to send us a 2 minute video of a report of everything that happened. If it happens, we'll insert it. If it doesn't, at some point, we'll bring her on to share her experience. But Kwame, let me hear you on that.
Culture reset. The word, the term is culture reset. Luke Shaw made one profound statement that over the years, the situation at the football club has been toxic. It has been toxic. We've been asking ourselves how come players can leave Manchester United, go and play for their national teams, and they look like two totally different players. How do players even just get sold for Manchester United and all of a sudden they are the best players in Serie A? You know what I'm trying to say? It's because the environment has not been conducive for athletes to perform at their maximum. When Ineos did come in, they said they wanted to provide us with an environment that can be able to enhance athletes' performance. Say, was it Brailsford, the guy who's left and gone back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the cycling? That was one of his main things. And even changing the training complex, improving the training complex and all that was part of their plan to be able to improve the environment, the culture at the football club. Athletes should go in there and feel like this is a place where I can be the best version of myself.
no,
But the dressing room culture is also very important. You don't want players coming in there feeling like they are bigger than what they actually are, or feeling like they are better than what they actually are, or feeling like when they are dropped, they can go on social media and throw a tantrum, or they can do whatever that they want to do. This is Manchester United. Standards have dropped, so some players come in there and they don't know who we have been. They don't understand who we have been. One player I'll point out in all this, and I believe he's the person that Luke Shaw was referring to when he made those statements. It's Alejandro Garnacho.
mhm.
His conduct over the past year and a half has been extremely disgusting for a young player. He's achieved basically nothing at Manchester United yet. Yet his behavior has not been acceptable, both under Ten Hag and lately under Amorim, which has led to him being banished from the team. You get what I'm trying to say? It's not good.
I mean, those
There are a lot of
comments
young
after the Europa
players.
League was the
It was
straw
it
that
was it
broke
was
the
it
camel's.
was it was terrible. It was terrible. It was unacceptable. And you don't want players to come in there because of how things have been at Manchester United behaving that way. Players need to have a reminder as to what this club means. Hence, the code of conduct that they've been made to sign. I mean, ideally, any player who signs a contract would have some of these things in the contract anyway. But I think we needed them things to be reinforced to remind them that there are consequences for certain actions. You just can't take to social media and be doing whatever that you want. Your family members can't be walking around and feeling like they can do whatever they see whatever that they want. You can't say whatever that you want to the manager, behave in any way to the manager. You can't be lazy at training. You cannot decide just to. There are a lot of things that have gone on and understand. I mean, when things are not going well, everybody just thinks that. But at a point in time, you have to bring everybody to order. You know what I'm saying? Team has to play like a family. I think now they feel like they're units. Everybody is talking about how they go to our training sessions and they see a whole different intensity, a whole new energy, synergy, connection between players. Even the new players don't seem out of place. You want that players should come in into the Sesko should come into the club and feel like already I'm a part of it. This is the culture now. The standards are high. They expect him to score goals. Scoring 4 goals, 7 goals a season is not enough. You know what I'm saying? And players should be under that pressure that when they don't perform, the next thing they know, they should be out of Manchester United. You can't be comfortable. You should not be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Comfortable in that sense. That's what I mean. But you should have a comfortable environment to work. But you should not feel comfortable that when you are subpar, there are no consequences. That's what I mean. So yeah, I think that's what he was speaking about, and it's good. It's all well and good, but at the end of the day, what backs these things up is results. If you are not winning, everything you are trying to do will not be reinforced because let's not pretend other managers have not tried to enforce such measures. Some of them went too far, others too were not backed by the club. But this manager, I think, is being backed by the club, like in totality, to be able to
Looks like both
make
the
certain
club and
things
the manager are in.
are aligned. Yeah, they're aligned. Yeah, they're aligned. And that is good. That is good for us because when we came to understand what the Ineos project is, it's about alignment, right? Getting everything and getting everything set and then getting people to fit what we want to do and not the other way around. You get what I'm saying? So I think that is how we should go about it. And hopefully we'll be able to win games and win big titles to be able to back this up so that it's reinforced, it becomes bigger, and it lasts longer.
Mm.
It shouldn't be like just win a trophy next season or just make top four next season, and next season, the following season, we go down again. And that's the seesaw situation we found ourselves. But if you want things to be sustainable, I think this is the best way to go about it. It's just that you need results to back it up. It's very, very important.
Well, it's very, very important. Thank you very much, Kwame. So my quick thoughts on everything. I mean, the game was good. I mean, you still see the attributes that you would want us to see in a football club, especially what the Premier League standard is in terms of the physicality and the technicality of the game. And that's what our recruitment, like Kwame said, have been driving towards, trying very hard to ensure that we have players that are technically sound, but most importantly, we raise the physical floor so that we're able to match teams at that level. For me, what really caught my eye are the little details, the intensity, the press, the desire to win the ball back, and the consistency with which they did it for long spells or throughout the game. You don't want a situation where you are aggressive in 30 minutes, in the next 20 minutes you are off. You don't want a situation where you have a bad start in the first half, then you get to recover at some point. You want to see consistency throughout the game, and that's the standards that you expect from a Manchester United team, not a situation where you feel that, okay, we are a good first half team. In the second half, we come in, we are poor, or we start poorly. No, you want to see that level of consistency. So I'm not surprised that Amorim is trying to drive home this particular point. It's very, very important that we get that. Well, so it was good. It was good. For the discipline and other things, it's important. You need the club to enforce that. You need the club to be better, or you need people to be better at all of these things. It helps improve whatever we are doing, and etc. etc. So Kwame, let's talk about. So that's just my thoughts on that. Let's talk about the very important thing, the striking position or the striker's position. Ruben Amorim was asked about Sesko not too long ago in the post-match press conference, and he said he doesn't know what is going to happen in the rest of the window. I mean, it's a generic answers that he's given, but he says what's most important is that Rasmus Højlund is applying himself, he's doing well and he's scoring. So, I mean, it's just generic. What are the things that is happening inside? I mean, coaches are not allowed to speak about other clubs.
Exactly, yeah, you can't do that.
So he has to show respect to that. But Kwame, I've told you my own.
Tell everybody. Tell everybody what
those
you
who
think.
know me. I'm telling you, and those who don't know me, I'm not a fan of these young strikers coming into the club. We've done a mistake the first time. We've done it the second time. I felt this was the opportunity for us to get in an experienced Premier League proven striker. But unfortunately, the club has decided to go the other way. Christopher Vevel, leading the recruitment department, has decided to go the other way by going in for a very familiar striker. A striker, I believe he's part of the people that scouted, recruited during his time at the RB group.
How did he describe him a couple of years ago?
Yes, he described it.
Good in the air,
Good in the air,
quick,
powerful,
powerful,
and the potential and all of those things that.
to be the best in the world.
But my position is simple. I mean, the club has the right to do whatever they want to, but I feel we could have done better on that score. Kwame, what's your thought?
Benjamin Sesko, 2022. 11 goals scored for RB Salzburg in 37 appearances. 2023, 18 goals scored in 41 appearances. Then he moves to Leipzig. In 2024, he scores 18 goals in 42 appearances. And last season, he scored his most goals in the season, 21 goals in 45 appearances. I'm bringing out these stats because, I've been with you on the Watkins train. I think we should have gone for an experienced player, but I want to put a bright side to the stats. I don't think it's exactly the same situation as bringing in Joshua Zexi or Erasmus Højlund, and Højlund in particular, because Højlund came at a very hefty price tag, right? Having scored minimal goals in Serie A, very little experience as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
But Sesko has had the hype for quite a while, let's be honest.
Yeah.
For about 2 or 3 years, Sesko has had the hype. He's gone to the Euros, he's scored at the Euros, he's played the Champions League games, he's scored in Champions League games, he's played in big games all across Europe. He's 22 years old and has gathered some experience. He is a goal scorer, goal getter, and he has certain physical attributes that you would think would fit the Premier League. And he's coming into an environment that I think is different from that environment that Rasmus Højlund found himself in. Højlund came in and he was flanked by Rashford and Garnacho. And a different manager, different system. Sesko will be coming in, having been flanked by 2 new Premier League proven experienced players in Cunha and Mbeumo, with Bruno Fernandes in behind them, in a totally different system, different coach, different environment. I think that plays a role, that plays a part. I feel I don't believe that we can make 3 mistakes in a row. You would want to believe that third time is a lucky charm. That if we probably got it wrong the first time, not really got it right the second time, surely we can't get it wrong the third time. Once you do that the third time, it feels like a curse. It feels like nothing is going to work for Manchester United. The upsides to this is if Sesko does come in and hits the ground running, you have a striker for the next 10 years. Honestly, like, you have a striker for the next years. And I think that's what the club ultimately will be banking on. And on the Watkins thing, if you do read what Onston posted, it's not like we have decided to pick Sesko over Oli Watkins. If the wording is very, very critical, it's that Aston Villa are first of all not prepared to even sell the player in Oli Watkins. And if they were going to sell the player, Manchester United would not be prepared to meet the valuation that Aston Villa would propose, which we all know to be £60 million for a soon-to-be 30-year-old Oli Watkins. So it's just simple. If we have to spend £60 million on a 30-year-old player, and you just have to spend about £65 million, probably if you add on 65 to 70 million pounds on a 22-year-old prospect, that certain people in the club are already familiar with. In fact, there are people in the club who are familiar with the situation even before Vivo got there, because we had been scouting him even before Vivo got into the house. So if you have that, very good question, very, very good question. So people in the club already knew a lot about Sesko. It's not like Højlund who just simply popped up from nowhere. So I think it would be unfair to make that comparison between the 2 players, because they are 2 totally different players, 2 totally different ages coming into the football club. If the move just does happen, coming into 2 totally different situations. You get what I'm saying? So I think we should give the Sesko thing a chance. The only thing is, there's a but to it. I don't think I think I have PTSD from what has happened over the past couple of years. And I'm sure it's the same situation with a lot of Manchester United fans. Because we have lacked goals, and what the last two signings, who have cost grand total of £100 million, have produced, is in stark contrast to what we know a Manchester United striker should be able to produce for us.
Yeah.
So much so that we don't want to live with the thought, a lot of us, it's not all of us, we don't want to live with the thought of having another young striker coming to the club who has to shoulder this huge responsibility of banging in the goals for Manchester United. Because growing up, I've been a United fan for a long time, and so have you. We've always known the club to have experienced strikers and young strikers at the same time, and not just young strikers all through.
Yeah.
So it is another gamble, but I feel it could pay off based off what I've just explained. That's two totally different situations, two totally different teams, two totally different managers. And he'll be flanked by totally different players, experienced players at that. So it could just work out. If it does work out, you have a player for the next decade. You have a star player for the next decade. See, I think fans shouldn't be overly concerned about the price. Ekitike came to Liverpool for, was it £69 million plus 10? Having scored far less goals than Sesko has scored in his career, like far less. One would say he would come into a Liverpool team that he wouldn't have to shoulder that responsibility, but he will still be playing for a big club, and he will still be judged by the transfer fee that he's going to cost. We've seen a lot of players cost upwards of £50 million this summer who were in single digits for goals last season. You get what I'm saying? So we've also seen a player in Alexander Isak come to Newcastle for about £64 million when he had barely done bits for Real Sociedad. We took a punt on him, and now if he is sold to Liverpool, it's going to cost between 120 to 150 million pounds in just about 2 or 3 years. So sometimes it does work in your favor if you take a punt on the young one, and he actually comes good. There's a huge upside to it. You wouldn't be looking at him giving you a couple of years. You'll be looking at him giving you at least 10 years playing for Manchester United, unless something that happens in the unforeseeable future. Football is very, very unpredictable. Next thing you know, he wants to go to Real Madrid and we have to sell him. So yeah, maybe third time is the lucky charm, I guess. I hope. In fact, we should all hope at this point that that's the situation, that's the case.
Well, we would all hope at this point if that is going to be the situation. All right, Kwame, we have other things.
But see, Ruben Amorim is being backed. For anybody who wants to live this fool's dream that he's not being backed, a club that barely qualified for the Champions League, some way, somehow, we are making 3 over £60 million purchases, especially in the area that we lack the most. Don't form these excuses, unnecessary, stupid excuses, because you are manager FC. No, stop that. Don't do that to yourself. It's unhealthy, it's unwise, it's stupid. Be fair. He's being backed, and you should also expect him to do better.
Well, we'll see how it goes. All right, Kwame, thank you very much. It's almost, I think it's 6:19 at your end now, and it's 4:19 here. Just about the time that we are ending our recording for today's episode of United and Everything Football. Tells you how important it is to come your way. So please, let me repeat the number there. If you have any kind of support, you can bring it to the team, so that we can also continue to bring you quality production and improve the way we do things here on United and Everything Football. My name is Kwame. I'll tell Kwame Ntriboisiako. Thank you. So today, from now onwards, I'll be mentioning the name of our videographer and our graphic designer. Yes. Normally, when you finish, you mention them, right? So thank you very much, Roxanne. And thank you very much, Kojo Boache, the graphic designer, for always coming through for us on this.
Top guys.
Top. So we are a team of 4. So that's us. So guys, we truly appreciate your time with us. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and share with your friends. In your United WhatsApp groups, drop the episode so that other people can enjoy the beautiful podcast we put together for you. We'll see you in the course of the week with more analysis, or probably with a guest on to do more topical analysis on issues, and also a preview to the last game against Everton, which rounds up our tour of the United States. My name is Kwame. I was here with Kwame. Have a great time. Bye-bye.